How do the folks at R. Murphy Knives, the little company that could, make the internationally famous knives that are given away to Hollywood celebrities at the Oscars and rated the best by the likes of the New York Times and America's Test Kitchen? Murphy's inventory has grown to 640 SKUs, including everything from rubber knives, oyster knives, fine kitchen cutlery, and everything else from putty knives to cookout spatulas, a cleaver, and a bread knife. Many are new or repurposed for the culinary markets based on designs proven in more traditional trades and crafts. Several new products were CAD designed by engineer co-owner Mark Furman. Murphy's breakout business story isn't the typical tale of applying new technologies and modern business school regimens to an aging business. But it isn't necessarily about doing things old school either. For Murphy, which is the third oldest knife manufacturer in the country, it's actually a recipe that blends some old school iron with certain high-tech processes like cryogenic cooling and extreme pressure water cutters. It also mixes old-fashioned skill and craftsmanship with computer-aided design. But whereas competitors have gone to automated quality control, Murphy relies on a staff committed to quality. Each of the 20 or more factory employees are quality trained in each of the separate production operations. Owners Mark Furman and Mimi Youngkins prefer hires who relish playing an important role in the success of a resurgent company in a traditional industry. And that success narrative begins on the manufacturing floor with high-grade carbon steel and high-grade stainless steel from select suppliers. As knife aficionados and professionals know, carbon steel provides the highest performing knife edge. Stainless steel is slightly lower performing, but necessary in environments where water and oxidation are likely. Murphy provides products for both markets. These high-performance steel sheets will soon become blanks, punched by a still-in-service 80-year-old manually operated machine, which nevertheless has been known to produce as many as 10,000 blanks a day at the hands of one of Murphy's crack machinists. In case you're wondering, Murphy produces on average about 1,000 knives a day. The blanks then receive a small hole in the tang or handle portion of the blank. That hole will be used to carry the blanks through subsequent production steps. The first of which are hardening and quenching processes, where the blanks are then cooked at 840 degrees centigrade, about 1500 Fahrenheit, in a liquid salt bath in order to make them harder. To quench the blanks and make them less brittle, they are then cooled rapidly in another salt bath at a mere 200 degrees centigrade, about 400 degrees Fahrenheit. After the blanks cool, the salt residue is rinsed away and the blanks are tested for hardness on a diamond-tipped 1930s vintage precision Rockwell tester. Then they are slow-cooled for 24 hours in a modern cryogenic chamber at minus 75 degrees centigrade, or over 100 degrees below 0 Fahrenheit. Because many of the processes leave residue, the blanks must be frequently washed and quickly dried in tumblers filled with kiln-dried hardwood sawdust to prevent rust. Cleaned blades are coated with a thin film of oil to prevent oxidizing between manufacturing processes. Next, the sides of the blank are ground, tapered into something more resembling a finished knife, using water-cooled 1970s-era machines. In this case, the blade is one of Murphy's New Haven oyster knives, voted the best by America's Test Kitchen. At this stage, however, the blanks are too dull to be considered finished knives. At only 14 thousandths of an inch, machine grinding has yet to refine the blanks to full-fledged knife maturity. Many steps are not trusted to machines. In the next production step, called edging, skilled operators must manually edge the blanks, refining the blanks to an even higher degree of sharpness while accommodating the complex curves of different knives. After the hand edging process, the blanks move on to polishing. Polishing returns the blank to yet another machine process, one that uses a slurry of abrasives and stearic acid to put a bright, shiny finished surface on the blanks, which are now emerging into something much more closely resembling finished knives, but they still lack handles. The blanks are cleaned with mineral spirits and tumbled in kiln-dried hardwood sawdust yet again. R. Murphy's newly designed logo is etched onto the blade using a mask similar to silk screening. A salt solution conducts electricity and oxidizes the steel, creating a Murphy logo on the blade. The blade is ready to receive a handle appropriate to its final use. But not all of Murphy manufacturing is done with decades-old machines. Some knives are cut with an extremely powerful, state-of-the-art high-tech water cutter. Water cutters actually use an extremely high-pressure water jet infused with abrasive garnet to cut steel into prototypes of new knife designs, as well as to create new steel parts for some of Murphy's older machines. Handles are applied to the tang of the knife. Some knives have a partial tang, others have a full tang, and depending on user preference, the tang receives either a plastic or a wooden handle. Depending upon customer preferences and market segments, Murphy's handles are made from a dozen different varieties of woods, from hickory and maple to cherry and Honduran or African rosewood. Handles for full tang knives begin life as two mirror image pieces known as scales. Once the tangs are drilled, the scales are fastened with rivets, and the handle and tang are sanded to a smooth overall finish and treated with acrylic to preserve and protect the handles. And finally, knives are wrapped and shipped to customers in 50 states and many countries. From the little company that can, by the railroad tracks on Groton Harvard Road in Ayer, Massachusetts. If you're interested in working for R. Murphy Knives, if you have good hand-eye coordination, a willingness to work with machines, and an interest in the company's mission to be a leader in the knife and cutlery industry, contact the company at humanresources@rmurphyknives.com or call R. Murphy at 978-772-3481. You can visit the company's website at www.rmurphyknives.com.